Hey guys, welcome back to day one of my AS Biology in 1 month series. And in this video, I'm just going to be playing this time lapse of me just completing questions on AI Exam Tutor. So, sorry about the. You'll see it later, but this is actually two separate stacks, and I lost a bit of footage. But essentially, what I'm doing is completing the specimen paper one and the 2020 paper one, I believe, for EdXLA Biology AS. Now what I'm doing is I'm just completing the questions, and you'll notice what I'm not just trying to get full marks, like as if the question offered 3 marks. I'm not just trying to get 3 marks. I'm trying to get every mark on a marking point, so that on a marking scheme, so that I can get all those ideas in my head, and essentially I can just learn or memorize all of the different content within the course. You can see I'm also doing some research in the background, just trying to learn more about the course, because remember, I don't know any biology at the moment, so just trying to get to grips. And you'll see me using ChatGPT a lot to try and explain concepts. It's actually quite useful for explaining those kind of things. But yeah, the main idea of this is just to stimulate the active recall and make it through each paper, reaching each one to 100%. So you can see at this top, I've got the progress bar. It basically tells me how much of the paper I've memorized, you could say, but I don't want to say memorized, because I am trying to understand at the same time, because if you understand how things work, then it's easy to regurgitate them in an exam. So yeah, you can see that progress bar just slowly going up to 31%, and in this voiceover, I guess I'll just explain some of the things I could to explain some of the topics I covered. So obviously this is an entire paper, so it's going to cover all the topics from paper one. You can see here I'm just answering a blood flow question. It's pretty standard because it was just a valves question, and that was all seen in GCSE. Here we have pregnancy tests, and these seem to be a big part of paper one, so it's good I managed to get them out of the way early. You can see I'm just using ChatGPT to query a few things. And yeah, I'd say this is a relatively good way of learning. If you don't know something, just search it up and learn as you go along. Once you see the mark scheme, the good thing about the mark scheme is that it's really concise, and you can kind of just memorize it very easily, because it's almost like a really concise flashcard. All of the marking points are usually a single line, and you can just understand it and get all the points. Another thing about biology is people usually complain about the mark scheme. So by learning from the mark scheme itself, hopefully I won't have the same issue of people running into problems with exam technique, because if you've been learning based on exam technique, like based on mark scheme definitions and mark scheme answers, you should hopefully be able to just adapt to that style. So yeah, you can see me learn about protein formation, protein synthesis, and a lot of this stuff is just some extra GCSE, so it wasn't too hard to understand the concepts. I think it's just making sure I can get all the points on the mark scheme. Also, you notice some of the images are a bit badly cropped here. That is just the issue with this paper, and I'll be fixing that soon. It's quite easy. So yeah, you can see me just steadily improving. We're at 44% now, and that's another thing I noticed. It was very slow. Oh yeah, and you see that jump, so that was actually a whole other stack. I lost a lot of the footage in between those two, but these are two separate papers. Now I think I'm doing the 2016 paper. And you can see I seem to have a lot of stuff, but that's just because I already reached 78% of the stack already. And what I will tell you is it's really easy to get to the first 75%, because all you have to do is just answer the questions. Even if you only get a few marks, you'll be able to reach around 70% really easily. But it's the last sort of 20% which is the most important, because that's where you really get all of the mark scheme points, and that's where you really understand everything. So you can see I'm just getting through the entire things, learning about concepts of valves, given different ways to improve blood pressure. Here's a 6 marker. Now these are a little bit annoying because they have a lot of points in the indicative content, and I'm not sure how effective it is, although I completely know how the prothrombin sort of process works now, which I guess is good. Collagen cascade, I believe. No, coagulation cascade, sorry. But yeah, I won't say those 6 markers, I might have to change them a little bit because it is very difficult to memorize all of the points on dictative content, especially considering they're not all required. Here you can see another problem I had was mark scheme is very concise, but when you're writing it in full sentences, it's difficult to properly articulate everything. And yeah, that was the entire time lapse. So that was the first video in this series. I'm going to be hopefully making one of these every day, just covering progress. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in a future tutorial. Bye.